President Tinubu postpones South Africa Angola trips over Kebbi, Kwara attacks. Men advocate for greater recognition and support amid societal challenges as International Men's Day is marked today. Plus, 9 people reportedly killed in Russian attack on western Ukraine. Stay tuned for details of these stories and more after this time out.
Tinubu has postponed his scheduled trip to South Africa for the G20 Leaders Summit as he awaits further security briefings from Vice President Kashim Shettima on the kidnapped Kebbi schoolgirls and the attack on Christ Apostolic Church worshippers in Eruku, Kwara State. Tinubu also ordered the deployment of more security personnel to Eruku and the entire Ekiti local government area of the state and directed the police to go after the bandits who attacked the worshippers. This is according to a statement by his special advisor on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, today. Recall that Tinubu was scheduled to leave Abuja today to attend the 20th G20 Summit of Leaders in South Africa and thereafter proceed to Luanda to attend the 7th AU-EU Summit. Meanwhile, the Vice President, Kashim Shettima, went to Kebbi State to meet with the state government and families of schoolgirls abducted from Government Girls Secondary School, Maga, by gunmen. The aircraft conveying the Shettima landed at the Sir Ahmadu Bello International Airport in Berne, Kebbi, alongside the Director General of the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, Zubaida Umar, and other government officials. The VP had departed Abuja for Kebbi on the directive of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He is expected to convey Tinubu's message to the people of the state as well as receive a briefing on the situation for onward communication to the president. In a separate development, the federal government has expressed concerns over the dedication of the U.S. to exclude it from participating in the U.S. rapper Nicki Minaj's event on the alleged killings of Christians in Nigeria. The Minaj event, which was held at the UN headquarters in New York in collaboration with the Permanent Mission of the U.S. to the UN, was against the background of the ongoing accusation by the U.S. alleging Christian persecution in Nigeria. Meanwhile, the Charge d'Affaires Permanent Mission of Nigeria to the UN, Sindov Endoni, has said that the decision to exclude Nigeria from the discussion held at the UN headquarters in New York was theme, shaving our head in our absence. The Nigerian envoy, however, refuted the ongoing accusations by the U.S. authorities alleging Christian genocide in Nigeria, which the Nigerian authorities have repeatedly rejected. In the meantime, the federal government has launched an emergency call center and ambulance system to provide prompt and efficient emergency medical services to residents, particularly in cases of flooding, fire outbreaks, road accidents, and other emergencies in Cross River. The Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Mohammed Pati, who was represented by the Programs Manager of the National Emergency Medical Service and Ambulance System, Dr. Dobra Emoran, during the flag-off ceremony at the General Hospital in Calabar, said the initiative is aimed at providing emergency medical services to Nigerians, especially the poor and vulnerable, adding that citizens can now access pre-hospital care and ambulance transport services. He stressed that the initiative aligns with President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda for health and the Nigerian health sector renewal investment initiative, ensuring that Nigerians have access to quality emergency medical care. From the Red Chambers, worried by the abduction of 25 students of the Government Girls Comprehensive Secondary School Maga in Kebbi State, the Senate has urged President Bola Tinubu to immediately approve urgent recruitment of at least 100,000 Nigerians into the military to further boost security in the country. This was just as it set up an ad hoc committee to carry out thorough investigation into the fund expended so far on the Safe School initiative, while calling for the rescue of all the students from their abductors. The Senate resolutions were sequel to an urgent motion sponsored by Senator Yahaya Abdullahi on the abductions of the schoolgirls in the early hours of Monday. Presenting the motion, Senator Abdullahi said the abduction of the students and killing of the school vice principal by bandits was a dirty slap on the face of the nation, which must be seriously looked into and urgently addressed. In another development, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has revealed the major obstacle to real-time election result uploads. Chairman of the Commission, Professor Joash Amokbiton San, while speaking at the 2025 Digital Nigeria International Conference and Exhibitions in Abuja, said despite major gains achieved through the deployment of the bimodal voter accreditation system, poor telecommunications connectivity remains the Commission's biggest obstacle to real-time result uploads. Professor Amokbiton, represented by National Commissioner May Agbomuche Mbu, acknowledged that the uneven quality of network coverage across Nigeria continues to hinder seamless transmission of polling unit results to the INEC result viewing portal. Meanwhile, a statement by the Chief Press Secretary to the INEC Chairman, Dayo Oketola, noted that while voter impersonation and multiple voting have been effectively curtailed, the Commission is still grappling with connectivity gaps in several parts of the country. Back here, Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Omoeno has called for unwavering loyalty and faithfulness amongst government workers as fundamental keys to effective and productive service delivery in the system. Governor made the remark during the swearing-in ceremony of the state's new head of service, Elsie Peters, at Banquet Hall, Government House in Uyo. Governor congratulated Elsie Peters for being the 7th head of the state civil service and the 4th woman to occupy the exalted office. Pastor Eno charged the new appointee to run a civil service where the key ingredient will be loyalty to the state and the governor and the acute understanding of the ideals that shape the government's Arise agenda. In the meantime, as Nigeria joins other nations to celebrate International Men's Day, the menfolk have continued to raise their voices on the need for greater recognition, support, and understanding of the challenges facing men and boys in today's society. A cross-section of the menfolk in Uyo advocated for a shift in how society views masculinity, urging communities, families, and institutions to create safe spaces where men can express vulnerability without judgment. They also stressed that while men are traditionally seen as protectors and providers, they also struggle with mental health issues, emotional burdens, and workplace or societal expectations that often go unaddressed. This year's theme, Celebrating Men and Boys, focuses on promoting positive male role models, strengthening men's mental and physical health, and highlighting the discrimination and societal pressures that often go unnoticed. Now to Africa, where Tanzania's President Samia Hassan has said that the violence that followed the country's disputed October election could hurt access to international funding. Speaking as as she swore in government ministers. Hassan said what happened had tarnished the country's image and reduced its chances of getting loans. She urged officials to focus on raising funds from domestic sources. Reports say Tanzania remains fiscally dependent on external financing, with aid still accounting for some 23% of government revenue in 2023. We move now to the foreign scene, where 9 people have been reportedly killed and dozens more wounded in a Russian attack on the western city of Ternopil, Ukraine. According to Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky, a 9-story block of flats was hit in the strikes as Russia fired more than 470 drones and 47 missiles at Ukraine overnight. Reports say that 3 districts of Ukraine's second city, Kharkiv, were also hit by a massive drone attack, which reportedly injured more than 30 people, including children. Still on the foreign scene, a U.S. federal court has blocked Texas from using new voting maps drawn by Republicans in an effort to shore up their majority in the 2026 midterm elections. The court said evidence indicated the new voting districts were racially gerrymandered and ordered the states to use the congressional lines they had in place before they redistricted earlier this year. Republicans in the state's legislature redrew voting districts mid-decade, sparking both Democrat and Republican-led states to follow suit and adjust their maps for a political edge ahead of next year's midterm elections. Meanwhile, Texas Governor Greg Abbott has vowed to swiftly appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court against the ruling. Still to come in the news, Super Eagles captain Troost Ekong considering international retirement. We'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll complete the rest of our news stories. Welcome back. Glad to know that you're still sticking with us. Let's conclude the rest of our news stories. On our business news, the federal government has commenced the National Single Window NSW user acceptance testing with the first cohort of participating stakeholders, marking a major step toward ensuring the unified technology-driven trade ecosystem becomes operational by March 2026. The technology vendor guided each agency and stakeholder through the NSW's onboarding process, system navigation processes. The Minister of Finance, Wale Edun, and the Executive Chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, Dr. Zach Adedeji, visited the vendor to assess the level of progress recorded so far. Representatives from key regulators participated in the inaugural session, including the Nigeria Agricultural Quarantine Service, Standards Organization of Nigeria, National Environmental Standards and Regulations Enforcement Agency, the Nigeria Customs Service, the Council for the Regulation of Freight Forwarding in Nigeria, as well as importers, exporters, clearing agents, and freight forwarders. We move now to health, where the World Health Organization WHO representative and head of mission to Nigeria, Dr. Pavel Ursu, has said that over 60,000 lives have been lost each year since 1990 due to antimicrobial resistance (AMR) in Nigeria. Dr. Ursu stated this in his message to mark the 2025 World AMR Awareness Week, themed Act Now, Protect Our Present, secure our future. The WHO occurs when bacteria, viruses, fungi, and parasites change over time and no longer respond to medicines, making infections harder to treat and increase severe illness and death. According to Dr. Usu, AMR is a growing global threat, disproportionately targets where the teams for the UEFA playoffs ahead of the 2026 World Cup have been confirmed following the conclusion of the main qualifying series yesterday. The team include Team 1, Italy, Ukraine, Turkey, Denmark, Team 2, Wales, Slovakia, Poland, Czech Republic, Team 3, Kosovo, Republic of Ireland, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Albania, and Team 4, Romania, Northern Ireland, Sweden, North Macedonia. The winner of the Team 1 versus Team 4 semi-final will then face the winner of the Team 2 versus Team 3 from the path semi-final for a place in the USA, Canada, and Mexico World Cup. Still in sports, Super Eagles captain William Troost-Ekong is reportedly considering quitting international football following the team's failure to qualify for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. According to reports, the experienced defender may not be part of the squad to the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco in December. It revealed that Troost-Ekong informed his teammates in the dressing room after the loss to Democratic Republic of Congo on Sunday that he might not return to the squad. The 32-year-old has played a limited role with the Super Eagles in recent outings. The Al Kholoud of Saudi Arabia star has not been named in the starting lineup in the team's last 3 games. On our entertainment news, popular rapper and activist Folarin Falana, also known as Falz, has urged President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to resign over his inability to tackle the escalating insecurity in the country. Reposting a tweet made by Tinubu on 6 November 2014, demanding for the resignation of then-President Goodluck Jonathan over terrorism, Falz stated that the president has remained unwilling to protect the lives and property of citizens despite pretending to care in the past. Recall that the escalating insecurity in Nigeria, especially jihadist violence against Christians, has attracted more international attention recently. Speaking at a UN event on Tuesday alongside the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, Michael Ward's Nicki Minaj called for urgent action against the persecution of Christians in Nigeria. And that's all we have for you at this time. Do well to ensure to follow us on all our social media handles and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtvlive.ng. You have been watching Spectrum News at 4. My name